Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Today we're going to be discussing Warner Bros. And DC, and also, obviously, by the title, DC's potential, or the DCU's potential danger. Now, this isn't a slash of the DCU because I really like how it's going so far. But obviously, if you are aware, Warner Bros. Might be getting sold soon. It's obviously they're kind of dealing with debt, they're dealing with trouble. Years of failing movies, from well, not all failing movies, of course, but other issues have just caused them to get into insane debt. And well, only real really way out of it is to sell. And what it could mean for the DCU is quite questioning because really you don't know what will happen. It also just depends on who, which company or whoever has the deepest pockets and is willing to buy Warner Bros. Obviously, Warner Bros. Has a lot of good IPs, a lot of good properties that anyone would really love to have. Hopefully, it is not Disney. Please no. I swear, there's like a nightmare scenario where Disney does it, and DC and Marvel are both owned by Disney, and they just ruin DC. Now, granted, Marvel could be on its way back up, especially if Doomsday does well, but who knows? But point being, we're kind of here to just talk about that in today's video. So obviously the new DCU kicked off a while ago with Creature Commandos, and then Superman, and then Peacemaker Season 2, which, despite the ending being mid, the whole show was really good. And Superman, in my opinion, was fantastic. It's honestly 1,000 times better than Man of Steel. And also just the entire, basically everything new under James Gunn is way better than the entirety of the original DCEU. And that's what I just don't understand how some people are now going like, oh my god, if Warner Bros. Gets sold, they can bring back Zack Snyder. And some people are legit saying bring back Zack Snyder in the Snyder version shit, right? And like I'm just thinking to myself, like, you know what, you can have your Snyderverse back, but guess what? You're not gonna get your cast back because here's a fun fact, okay? Here's just the truth. I'm sorry, but Henry Cavill's not coming back as Superman, okay? He's honestly probably moved on. He is better off trying to go be something else, and he's just better off going for a better gig because there's no point going back to Superman. Ben Affleck is too old to play Batman at this point, and also he was not really a great Batman to begin with. Everybody hates Ezra Miller and Gal Gadot or whatever her name is, Wonder Woman. Everyone hates those two, and I don't remember the guy who played Cyborg, but he said his experience behind the scenes was terrible, so he's not coming back. And Jason Momoa is also probably not coming back. So again, you could have Snyder back, but you aren't going to have your Snyderverse back because it's just going to have to get restarted anyway. So to people who are saying bring back the Snyderverse and bring back Zack Snyder, you'll only get Snyder back. Granted, he probably won't come back either. So they won't get Henry Cavill back. They won't get any of those characters back. There's literally no point to be saying bring back the Snyderverse because it's done. It's gone. Hell, I'm gonna be honest. The Snyderverse and the original DCU is probably the reason why fucking Warner Bros. Is in such debt. All those failing, terrible movies. You know, just honestly, but again, no need to slander on about that anymore. Let's just again get to the main topic. Is again the DCU, not the DCU is very young right now. It's barely started, and honestly, again, it depends on who buys it. And also, I hope Netflix is interested. I've heard some people say no. Hopefully, Netflix is a buy because, to be honest, Netflix is again anti movie theaters, and they'll put everything on Netflix. And also, Netflix is just not that great in my opinion. I feel like they would absolutely squander it and probably kick James Gunn out and bring some other bozo in. But I mean, I don't know. It really depends. I mean, there's all kinds of companies that really could buy into this potential of buying Warner Bros. And obviously getting their hands on the DCU. Honestly, the best case scenario, in my opinion, is whoever does buy Warner Bros. Has deep pockets and gives Gunn basically whatever resources he wants. Give DC the financial ability to really, really uptake Marvel because Disney throws a shit ton of money into Marvel. Okay, Disney has deep pockets. Okay, they have very deep pockets, and that's why all these Marvel movies have such huge budgets. And usually it pays off for Disney. I mean, again, the beginning of MCU, in the middle of the MCU, and even near the end. I mean, obviously with that before Endgame and stuff, that was a really great phase. Obviously, since then it hasn't really been that great, but there's still been some good movies, to be honest. And but again, even if the movies are mid and bad, they still get a shit ton of money behind them. And again, I really hope whoever does buy Warner Bros., if it does happen, whatever company, is able to give James Gunn and the DCU basically that the resource of, hey, whatever you need, we'll give it to you, because the DCU just obviously we don't need another DC restart. We really don't. We don't need, because the DCEU was a failed product. I'm not sure why people want it back so bad, because it was bad from start to finish. I don't understand how people look back fondly on the DCEU. Like, okay, and this is not to slander Henry Cavill Superman. I think Henry Cavill's a great actor, but this is it's strictly just because of Zack Snyder's terrible writing. Here's a hot take: Henry Cavill's Superman was a little flat. Like, again, there's nothing wrong with Henry Cavill himself, but it's the writing. Obviously, an actor can only act the way the writer wants them, or the director, or whatever, right? His Superman. I'm sorry, but God, I remember that scene in the beginning of the or not like somewhere sometime during Man of Steel. His father like, yes, let the school kid, your fellow classmates, drown on the bus. Don't save them. No, my superpowered son who can fly and save me in an instant. Don't save me from a tornado. I'm sorry, that's just slander, but again, Zack Snyder's writing was horrible. The DCEU was horrible. There's really not much bright spots about it, and it took a 4-hour version of Justice League to make it somewhat enjoyable, except even then it's still mediocre at best. I just don't understand how people like legit say like, oh, whoever buys DC or Warner Bros, please bring back Zack Snyder and stuff. You can like Zack Snyder, so you can like Henry Cavill Superman. Again, I don't think Henry Cavill Superman is horrible, but you got to blame Zack Snyder's horrible writing. And do we really want Zack Snyder back in charge? His last 2 movies. I'm not sure when his last actual movie was. But remember Rebel Moon? I'm sure no one gives a fuck or remembers that movie. But it was supposed to be the next big thing, right? Next big thing on Netflix. Part 1 came out. It was terrible. And then Part 2 came out. Everyone forgot Part 2 even existed and didn't even know it came out. But again, we're getting kind of sidetracked. Whatever happens with Warner Bros. And DC, I really hope it's either the best thing possible. I don't really know what company, again, will be buying it. I just hope it's not Disney or Netflix, for the love of God. Disney's unlikely to do it, and Netflix, hopefully not, because again, they're anti-movie theaters. They're anti, obviously that kind of stuff. And I feel like they would ruin DC to an extent. I just feel like Netflix is really mediocre, in my opinion. I don't know. I think, again, this does put the DCU in jeopardy, because you never know who's going to buy it, and really, you never know if they're like, do we want James Gunn around, or do we not want James Gunn around? And I don't know. I mean, again, it depends on who does it, who depends on who buys it, depends on who opens their pockets, whatever company it is. And again, they could either say, let's keep James Gunn around and give him whatever he wants to succeed for DC, right? For us, right? Or, hey, let's kick him out, even though his universe just started and has barely had time to really work. And again, I really think, I think definitely let James Gunn cook, because to be honest, Superman was a great movie. Creature Commandos is a pretty good show. And Peacemaker Season 2 was good, even though the ending was a little disappointing. The ending may not be the best ending possible, but it sets up the future of the DCU. So I'll take that, because it sets up some things. I really look forward to more DCU projects. I hope whoever does buy DC has deep pockets and is willing to let James Gunn do whatever. Let James Gunn basically operate DC the way he wants. And generally, if he sucks, if somehow James Gunn falls off and makes a few bad projects and it's just not going well, go ahead. But to be honest, I don't think that's going to happen. You just got to let the man get what needs to happen. Let him work. Let him cook. Let him make DC great. Because to be honest, with Marvel in a position where some people trust Marvel and some people are looking forward to Doomsday while some people are skeptical, this is a great opportunity for DC to really, really kind of become the big dog for, I guess, superhero movies, of course. Obviously, it'd be a great scenario for both DC and Marvel to succeed, and obviously we have DC succeeding. Marvel, again, nothing's really going on with them right now. We're all just waiting for Doomsday. Which again, I hope it's good. I'm sure it will be, but again, back on target. It is kind of important of who does buy Warner Bros. And stuff, because the wrong company, example, Netflix, could instantly ruin everything. The right company, I really don't know what other company I can name, or again, whoever, or something. I've heard I think I saw a thing about Paramount really wanting to buy, but Warner Bros. Told them to go fuck themselves. I don't really know. I'm joking. I'm not sure if they actually said that, but I'm pretty sure Paramount is interested. I'm not sure if Paramount would be the best. I mean, to be honest, I don't really know, but Again, in my opinion, I don't really give a shit who does buy it. As long as again they let James Gunn do what he wants, let him cook. Don't shut down the DC again, because honestly, one thing again, we just don't need another DC restart. We really don't. And nobody, except for the of course DCEU Glazers and Zack Snyder Glazers, nobody wants the dark, gloomy version of the DCEU where everything was shitty and depressing. I'm sorry, but the tone of all those movies was just dark. It's like all the emo kids like it or something. I don't really know. I just the DCEU was horrible, and the DCU is off to a good start so far. I think again, whoever does buy it needs to just let James Gunn cook. All right, another restart is not necessary. We don't need to get a new Superman. We don't need any of that because what we have right now, as long as we get it time to grow, it might become something really really awesome. So again, I'm very interested to see what happens more with this situation, and I also again, I'm very excited to see the rest of the future of the DCU because, unlike the DCEU, the DCU actually has a bright future and is very promising. Unlike the DCEU, where you had no idea what was coming next, and then they would announce some pointless movie like Birds of Prey. Yeah. Anyways, that's gonna wrap it up for today's video. Yeah, the future of the DCU could be in danger with this, but in my honest belief, I hope again whoever does buy it is willing to just kind of let James Gunn stick around, of course, and let James Gunn cook. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen with this situation. It's a growing situation. It's an ongoing situation. We never know what it might not even get. I'm not sure what's going to happen with all of it, but we'll see. And yeah, hopefully the whatever the outcome is, it's good for the DCU because the restart's not necessary, and we don't want Zack Snyder back, except for his Glazers, of course. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video, which I will have. I don't even know. I don't know when my next video is. I definitely have a jam-packed schedule next week. I'll definitely try to get, obviously, my weekly prediction out. That'll drop on Tuesday. And I think that's, like, the only day, because every other day I'm working. And then I'm also just spending time with my girlfriend at some point next week as well. So my schedule's a little packed next week, but I'll try to at least, I'll obviously still get the weekly prediction out. Nothing will stop me from that. But outside of that, nothing new at the moment. I'll keep you guys posted. I do want to try to stream on Halloween. I want to do my best to get that happen. I do work that day, but I'll try to stream earlier in the day. Hopefully if I can. What do you want? I'm sorry, my cat's meowing. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next video and have a great rest of your day.